Seal.
Present.
Councilmember Brazen.
Present.
Councilmember Spain McLaren. Present. Councilmember Vera.
Present.
Councilmember Sorrento. Here. Councilmember Casey.
Present.
Council President Seal.
Present.
All are present.
Thank you. At this point of our agenda, we have a public forum for you to share any comments, any thoughts you have on any agenda item before us this evening. So if you have any comments that you wish to make, we had lots of comments at our finance meeting just moments ago that were greatly appreciated. But please come forward. Thank you.
I'm back. My name is Bill Schroeder. I'm an architect with an MBA, and I have advised banks, lenders, owners, and developers for 40 years on project development. In fact, in the late 80s, I worked for a time for a developer.
I'm sorry, Bill.
Yeah.
Could the folks in the hall please tone it down? We can't hear the speaker. Thank you.
In the 80s, I worked for a time for a developer who wanted to redevelop properties. He had a great idea, but not quite enough money, more to the pity. I must say I have not been able to get much information on this project from the mayor's office, 2 unreturned calls, the newspaper coverage, or the folks who attended the first 2 informational sessions. I had planned on attending the 8:13 session, but that now appears moot. Proctor's is a magnificent building worthy of preservation, but it is high risk. Building office space in the theater building of Proctor's will make terrible office space. Let's remember why the last owned city hall was torn down. Administration after administration, council after council, failed to budget funds for maintenance to address issues that led to structural damage such that the building was deemed unable to be saved. Owning real estate is not a core mission for cities. Let's face it, cities are not great owners of real estate, particularly not historic real estate. Historic buildings are more expensive to maintain as they were built with more expensive materials and methods. Historic buildings also have a habit of developing, I lost my place, of developing expensive, unforeseen problems, structural, cosmetic, and otherwise, even after extensive investment. Proctor's is more than 110 years old. On another topic, the nature of work is changing. Can you say you know what the impacts of AI are going to be on staffing in the next 5 or 10 years? I don't think so. Is now the time to own rather than to rent? I think these are the questions that the City Council needs to ask itself before it votes. Has the city been well advised by independent, experienced professionals in development, finance, and preservation before it reaches this decision? I think we all know the answer to that. Has there been enough detail? I think we all know the answer to that. Was there an independent appraisal of the building done to support the purchase price? Were there other studies provided to support your conclusions? How reliable and detailed is the project's budget? We know the answer to that. Has the city spoken with New York State SHPO regarding the concept plan? I think we heard from a couple of people that the concept plan has been sent to SHPO, and I think that's going to be a huge problem. I think that's going to affect the construction schedule, because whether you seek the historic credit or not, you are subject to SHPO's rules and approvals. You ought to take that into serious consideration. You know, I'm going to skip this one. All of the other expenses associated with this, the litigation, the moving, you're not going to think about that. The council, with a yes vote tonight, you are accepting huge project and financial risks on behalf of taxpayers. Construction cost overruns. Do you know where steel and lumber costs are going to be in 6 months? I don't think so. I don't think anybody does. Interest rate risks on financing. Construction cost overruns. Labor costs. Construction schedule overruns. Approval constraints from CHIPO, as well as a lifetime of increased maintenance and likely insurance costs for this building. For those of you voting who want to be remembered for building a Troy City Hall, if you vote for this tonight, I fear you will be remembered, but the way we remember Steve Dworsky, by creating a generational financial mess. This process has been opaque. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Does anyone else wish to address the council?
Hello, this is my first time doing this, but I think it's
Please
important.
just give us your name and
Avi and
take
I.
a deep breath and it's fine.
I think this is an important issue that, if done incorrectly, will lead to long-term financial problems for the city and my generation. And I would like to see fiscal responsibility and transparency from the mayor before this gets put forward, and accurate numbers. Thank you.
Can you just give them your name for the record?
Avi Menard.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm not completely opposed or for the whole town hall move. Depending on what you know, if you guys are actually planning to just move there, or if you end up deciding to do something else with that building. Because if that building needs to be renovated, then yes, that is a safety issue that you have to, of course, do it, properly, completely. Make sure you're open and transparent about what's wrong with the building, stuff like that, and more of that over than like historic preservation, because that's kind of just dressing on the building, and really you can just use modern materials or whatever to form it back to like what it looks like, and make it actually a lot better. But I also think using that building to move Troy City Council over seems like a waste of city time. I think if you were to put that funds towards actually putting some more like community first resource, like housing, public housing, some sort of program that actually gives back to the community gives back to the community, instead of just moving shop where you guys are doing your job here just fine, to then move somewhere else to where you guys do the exact same job. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hi, Mark again, resident of Troy. To be earnest, I expected the vote as it came out. Disappointed in people who touted themselves as fiscally responsible, voting on this proposal with no information. I don't know how you can call yourself fiscally responsible or fiscally conservative if you voted yes on this, and I would again, strongly consider not voting yes for Resolution 88 because it's not fiscally responsible at all. My fellow fiscal conservatives, thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Does anyone else wish to address the council? This is on agenda items.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Marcos Lugo. I'm resident in 4th Street. I've been doing business over there for the last 7 years. I own a barber shop right there in 4th and State. And I hope everybody can vote yes, because Troy ain't coming back. Troy not going back. We're going forward. And I believe the money it's going to be provided. So that building is over there for 100 years. So I believe can stand it over there for another 50 or another 40, something like that. And, excuse me that I'm opposed to somebody, but I believe you can give you a chance and we can try there, because we Troy. We're going up. We're not going backwards. Have a good evening.
Absolutely. Does anyone else wish to address the council on an agenda item?
Hi, my name is Maria. I live on the east side. And I just wanted to say a few things I wanted to clarify. So I started working here about 3.5 years ago. The floor of my office is the only office on city floor that is not a carpet. It was starting to come up. I asked the old deputy mayor who was supposed to fix my floor. I kept tripping on it every time I came into my office. He told me to speak with the building managers, who ended up telling me it was up to our own people to take care of it, as it was the HVAC system. That was fixed in 3 of our offices this past year. My office, treasurer's office, assessor's office. We paid for all of it. Us. Operating costs came out of our money. Not the landlords, not the building supervisors. City of Troy paid for it. Labor, materials, everything. Our bathrooms have been shut down numerous times. Our people come and fix them. Our facilities people. I'm not calling the landlord. I'm calling Chris down in facilities. He's coming here. He's fixing it. Right now, as we speak, I have 2 lights in my office. They're about to fall on top of my desk. Tomorrow morning, I'm not going to call the landlord. I'm going to call Scotty. He's going to come and fix it. Or the facilities people are going to come and fix it. I'm not calling Joe Castaldo. I'm not calling Kevin Betty. I'm calling people that work here for the city of Troy that get paid by the city of Troy. So I just wanted to make some clarifications on things, that we pay the landlords to come here and do all these things for us. We pay for it. We all pay for it. City of Troy pays for it. Not the landlord, just to be clear. Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to address the council?
Hello, my name is Mark Menard. Almost a lifelong resident of Troy. I skipped 1 year, lived down in Delaware. So I've lived through the tear down of the Monument Square, seeing the neglect over the years, the low budgeting, the not doing the maintenance work that needed to be done, that literally resulted in what had been a nice and beautiful building needing to be torn down. I've seen the wanderings of the city government through the various buildings to eventually being here on city floor. And I don't want to defend this landlord or say that this arrangement is a good one. But just because we're in a bad situation doesn't mean that we should rush headlong into an unknown situation. I remember Secretary of Defense getting critiqued because he said there's unknowns and then there's unknown unknowns. And if you've ever been involved in historic buildings, if you've ever been involved in doing rehab and taking things down and trying to maintain and stabilize historical buildings, you will know that there are unknown unknowns. There are going to be things found in the process of doing this building that we had no idea they're going to cost way more than any budget that you actually, at this point, don't even have. It's like walking into the car dealer, putting on a blindfold, spinning around 3 times, pointing at a car and say, I'll take it, without even negotiating back and forth and finding out what you're actually going to pay for and what the payment's going to be. We do not know what the long-term maintenance costs of this building are going to be. We're committing to 20 years of being in this building that, according to what I understand, at the end of it, we don't even own the building. The Land Development Corporation owns it. And according to the law, what I understand, if we want to buy it from them, we then have to then buy the building at a fair market price. So we talk about this as being a permanent home. It is not. It is as impermanent as what you're sitting in right now. It's trading one lease for another. And again, I'm not saying that this situation is great. I think we should have a city hall that the city actually owns, and that in our charter, we're going to be obligated to take care of and maintain. And hopefully that's a modern building so that we don't have the unknowns that come with every historic building. They're always there. So, the fiscally responsible. Well, how is it possibly fiscally responsible to vote yes on something when you don't know what the budget's going to be? You don't know how much it's really actually going to cost. You don't know what the long-term maintenance on the building is going to be. How in God's name is that fiscally responsible? Sorry to whoever that was.
It was 13.
That was 13? Sorry. I'll give that to you. I would urge all of you to vote no on this. Let's form a consensus, an actual consensus. You're going to obligate us with a 1-vote majority to a generation of obligations. That's not fair.
Thank you, Mark. Does anyone else wish to address the council on any agenda item at this time?
Hi, I'm Erica, back again. I just wanted to reiterate my thoughts before. I'm wondering if we're still on the hook for this current lease, and if we are, how can we responsibly go forward with a new lease without resolving the former one? Listening to other people, not just what I think, but listening to all the comments from the previous meeting, it seemed like everyone had concerns, and yet you represent the people here, but it seems like you're not listening to the people, because most of the people are saying this is not a good idea. We have real concerns. Just because we're leaving one building to go to a different building doesn't make it a better building. It doesn't mean that the problems that are here will not be problematic in a different building, especially if it's an older building. Light bulbs and floors coming up, those are going to happen in older buildings as well, in different buildings as well. And I just wanted to know how we're going to pay for this for the next 20 years, because our taxes are already so high that many people that I know consider moving into Troy say, I'm not going to do it because the taxes are too high. And yet we don't know how we're going to finance this over the next 20 years.
Thank you, Erica.
Good evening, Sybil Menard again, 2100 block of Fifth Ave. I'd just like to take a few minutes to talk about the LDC mission, the Troy Land Development Corporation. When I look at the mission statement, it indicates that there are 4 performance measures. And I have concerns that the Troy LDC would be bonding for the purchase and construction, $10.8 million, and then rent the building to the city. From what I understand, as was mentioned in the second public meeting on July 23rd, the LDC would bond, which does not require a supermajority of the city council vote. It would also be liquidating properties that it currently owns and uses for a loan portfolio to aid in the employment opportunities for Troy residents and assisting in business retention and attraction. So the number of properties returned to productive use, currently Proctor's is already in productive use, almost as much as it would be should we actually end up moving there and having a viable city hall. Performance measure, number of facades improved. Proctor's facade is already improved, therefore it would not be contributing to the mission of the Troy LDC. Performance measure, performance of loan portfolio. Buying Proctor's would remove funding from the loan portfolio. We would be leasing to the city. There would be no tax base on that. And in addition, should we claim that in some legal loophole we can sell for $1, we would then be violating the mission of the LDC because we would no longer have a loan portfolio and an ability to then produce jobs, business loans, etc., which is its mission. Fourth mission and performance measure, number of business loans made and resultant creation of jobs. I have spoken with other Troy business owners in the city, and they are concerned because they currently utilize the loan annually so that they can buy product throughout the year, produce their product, make all their sales at the end of the year. I think 75% of their sales are made into November and December. And then they pay the loan back before the end of the year. What would happen if the LDC no longer has the funds and assets? They're all tied up in the financing of City Hall. That would eliminate jobs. That would eliminate business loans and creation of jobs. That is the mission of the Troy LDC. So I don't think that you can legally use the Troy LDC for this purpose. I think that doing so would violate the mission. I think you are calling more legal liability onto yourselves and the taxpayers. I would urge you to vote no until this has been thoroughly explored. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
One more thing, 20% less space. Where are the filing cabinets?
I don't know these things.
No, unfortunately, we need to use them.
Yeah, I know. I hear you on that one. Well, my name's Don Fenley. I live at 579 4th Street, and I need to provide public notice to the City of Troy in accordance with the USCS Rules of Civil Procedures, as well as the Rule 17, Rule 20 of the United States Supreme Court. The Constitution of the United States has an overarching requirement that every state must follow. I don't think anyone will deny that at this table. The states cannot enact their own alternative legislation substituted for the guarantees of the Constitution of the United States. That would mean that the state's laws are more powerful than the Constitution. Clause 1 of the Amendment 5 to the United States Constitution says, no person shall be held answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless presentment under grand jury. However, New York State has enacted its own alternative legislation that permits the prosecuting attorney or police officers to charge by information, not by indictment. That is unconstitutional. And a moment violation is when you pay a public official to break the law. The Constitution has two areas that enforce this. One is Article 1, Section 10, where it says that no state shall create any law that shall impair the obligation of contracts, police officers, prosecutors, judges, or all under contract. A contract to perform that based upon the oath and affirmation that they took. The contract parameters are defined within the Constitution of the United States. When the state enacts the law that directs the agents to disobey the law, the Constitution of the United States, that would be a violation of Article 1, Section 10. Now, the 14th Amendment is the other place that you will find the reinforcements of this issue, and that is where it says that no state shall create or enforce any law that shall abridge the privileges or immunities of the United States citizen. The privileges and immunities of the United States citizens are at a minimum. Those enumerated within the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments, they cannot be impaired. And thus, the state of New York has enacted a law in its inferior constitution that is permitting public officials, their inordinate amount of people currently in prison in the state of New York, illegally and unconstitutionally. Tawana Downing is litigating this issue at the United States Supreme Court. I'm here to notify you that if you continue to pay public officials to break the law, there can be criminal sanctions. That would come from that. We do not want to go that path, but officials must be made aware that paying people to disobey the law is an enumerate violation. It is illegal, it is unconstitutional. I am asking you, honorable individuals, please to take a look at Clause 1, Amendment 5, confirm what I'm saying to be true, then direct your public officials to act in a lawful constitutional manner, consistent with the obligations that are codified in the United States of America. I have a notice that I already put on record, and thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you.
Yep.
Does anyone else wish to speak on an agenda item?
I'm going to speak real quick.
Other than,
I'm also a member of the public and a tax-paying resident.
just teasing.
I know.
You can take it. You can take it.
It's gonna be about 30 seconds. So I just wanted to talk about the Proctor situation very briefly. I wrote down some things so I don't forget. I just think it's kind of funny how many people did we have speak? 7, 8 maybe? There are 50,000 residents in the city of Troy. 7 or 8 of you come in here, tell us how everyone hates this. Everyone has these types of questions. Everyone this, everyone. I only see 7 or 8 people here. Many people are busy doing other things on a beautiful summer night. Many people are uncomfortable public speaking, kind of like me, I don't really like this. They don't come to the meetings, they don't voice their opinions. I don't know about the minority, I can't speak for them, but I know the majority listens to their constituents daily, whether it's emails, out in the streets, community events, and they hear them. They listen to them. You guys come in here and berate them because they don't vote your way. Let's be honest, guys. Any one of those 8 items that were on the RFP, no matter what this administration picked, you would hate it. Let's be real.
Speak to the council.
Now I'm speaking to you. I would say that, I would echo that sentiment to the council. No matter what they picked, you guys would shoot it down. You'd have every problem with it because you didn't vote for these people. So let's just be honest, call it what it is. You don't like these people, you didn't vote for them. Anything they do, you will hate. So again, 7 or 8 of you have come in here and spoke and act as if you're speaking on the behalf of the majority of the 50,000 residents in Troy. That's just flat out not true. You're the only people that come here. You're the same 7 or 8 that come and speak at every meeting against anything that the mayor ever tries to do. Thank you.
Just for the record, there were at least 17 who spoke.
17.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Still not
And
quite
it was an overwhelming,
17 out of 50,000. Very wrong.
it was indeed.
I bet.
Does anyone else wish to speak?
Can I speak again?
Sure. After that last one.
Avi Menard,
You got it. I think I turned it off. On the very, just look at it.
testing. Avi Menard, I would like to see more opinions of the people that are for this legislation and resolution 88 to approve Proctor's as the location for Troy City Hall, and the people that are for this legislations and their reasons and financial proof that it is viable, because I have not seen any from the city council other than how it could be unviable. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to address the council? Okay, seeing none, we will move along with our agenda. We have several ordinances. We have a couple resolutions that I think we would like to move forward. We'd like to do resolution 82, and then we'll go to 81, and then move down, right?
So 82 first?
82 first.
All right, Resolution 82, a resolution to commemorate the service, life, and legacy of Jerry Weaver by designating that portion along 13th Street and Congress Street as Jerry Weaver Way. Council President sealed the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Brosnan with a second by Councilmember McLaren. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
7 ayes, 0 noes. Resolution 82 passes.
We're very honored to have Jerry's widow with us, who is County Legislator Carol Weaver. I thought you might like a little keepsake. Sarah, can you get
Yeah,
that?
I was just. Do you want everybody or just one? Okay. Thank you.
Council President Still, did we have a date for that? I thought we did.
No, we look forward to that.
Okay.
And moving on to Resolution 82. Or I mean 81.
Resolution 81, a resolution to commemorate the service and legacy of Vito Ciccarelli by designating that portion of 3rd Avenue between 110th Street and 111th Street as Vito's Way. Councilmember Keel, Councilmember Casey at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Brosnan, second.
Second.
Councilmember Soriento. All in favor?
Aye.
I just had some brief remarks.
Okay.
I just really want to say something brief. I'm really looking forward to personally being there for this unveiling. Vito Ciccarelli really has added some really great stuff to this local music scene, the arts. He's been associated with Prop Bands Up and Artists Up that are actually nationally known at this point. Last night he brought a band out that I don't know if they ever played out live before. It was an amazing 4-piece band with an amazing set with a young woman in front. Not only sang, but she played rhythm and lead violin, and it was a rock band. And this is what Vito brings to our community. And I just want to thank Vito personally, and I will again at the unveiling. Thank you.
Now all in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Opposed?
7 ayes, 0 noes. Resolution 81 passes.
And I don't believe we have Vito here with us tonight to present it, but we do have one. Maybe you want to bring it
Oh, yes.
with you when you go for the unveiling. Okay. Now we'll move back to our regular agenda, ordinances. Ordinance
34.
34.
Ordinance 34, ordinance approving settlement of tax certiorari proceedings instituted by 1801 6th Avenue LLC on the assessment roll of the City of Troy. Council President Steele, Councilmember Casey at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Vera, second by Councilmember Brosnan. Discussion on the ordinance. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
7 ayes, 0 noes. Ordinance 34 passes.
Ordinance 36.
Ordinance 36, ordinance authorizing sale of a certain city-owned parcel of real property by the proposal sale application method. Council President Steele, Councilmember Casey at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion? Councilmember Brosnan. Second. Seconded by Councilmember Keel. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye, sorry. Please.
7 ayes, 0 noes, ordinance 36 passes.
Moving on to resolutions, Resolution 83.
Resolution 83, resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Rensselaer County on behalf of its Department of Mental Health to receive additional funding from the New York State Office of Addiction Services and Supports. Council President Steele, Councilmember Casey at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Keel, is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Soriento. Discussion on the resolution?
Council President,
Councilmember McLaren.
I would just urge the mayor to please use this money so that we can keep getting this money because it is such an important issue kind of plaguing our society and affecting our city. That's all.
Any other comments, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
7 ayes, 0 noes, resolution 83 passes.
Resolution 85.
Resolution 85, resolution accepting a grant from the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services under the STRIVE initiative and authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract and execute documents related to the grant on behalf of the city. Council President Steele, Councilmember Casey at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Brosnan, seconded by Councilmember Soriento. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
7 ayes, 0 noes, resolution 85 passes.
Resolution 86.
Resolution 86, resolution accepting a grant from the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services under the GIVE initiative and authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract and execute documents related to the grant on behalf of the city. Council President Steele, Councilmember Casey at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Keel with a second by Councilmember Brosnan. All in favor? Or
Aye.
any discussion? Now all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
7 ayes, 0 noes, resolution 86 passes.
Resolution 87.
Resolution 87, resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Pavement Management Group to implement pavement condition data management services for the city of Troy by piggybacking on the city of Smithtown, New York. Contract entitled PIN 24-056 Pavement Management Solution. Councilmember Casey at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Vera with a second by Councilmember Brosnan. Discussion?
Council President.
Councilman Vera.
I would just like to say thank you to the city engineer for bringing this forward. I love collecting data, especially when that information is going to be used to invest millions of dollars annually. So I think this is a really positive step for the city of Troy, and I'm glad to see it for us this evening.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Sorry. 7 ayes, 0 noes, resolution, I'm so sorry. Resolution 87 passes.
City clerk fell asleep.
Are we boring you?
Oh my god, that was funny. Okay, resolution 88. Resolution 88 approving the former Proctor's Theater building at 82-90 4th Street, Troy, New York as a new site for the Troy City Hall. Councilmember Casey at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Brosnan.
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Keel. Discussion on the resolution.
Council President Steele.
Councilmember Casey.
I just really, there's going to be more public comment on this. But the next big one, of course, is August 13th at 6 p.m., actually at Proctor's. I urge everyone here, and especially the people who spoke and the people at home, try to make it to that one. You're going to get to actually go in Proctor's, And that's a big part of it, and you're gonna get to see it. If you're not old enough, you're gonna get a glimpse of something really special in our history, the history of Troy. And if you haven't been in there since you were a child, it's gonna really mean something to you and bring back a lot of memories as far as just getting in there. But I just wanna say, it does say, city officials will be on hand to give tours, share plans, and answer questions about the future permanent home of City Hall at Proctor's Theater. So please attend if you can, and like I said, this isn't gonna be the last public input, and they're there to answer any and all questions you may have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Council President,
Councilmember Keel.
as with any purchase, there's times when you think, wow, this has taken forever. And this has taken a long time for us to finally have a building that we're focused on and somewhat agreeing on. And other times it seems to go too quick. And it's like, oh, I got to get all this paperwork. I got to do this. I'm in real estate. So, you know, there are frustrating times, and this is kind of like this little frustrating bump for some. I think we're going to get there. I think we're going to like this property, and I think we're going to enjoy having this as our city hall with lots of parking behind it. Yeah, lots of parking behind it. That's right. Parking garage. That's where parking.
Let's just let him finish his comments, please.
Anyway, I think we have a great place. This is a historic building that we are bringing back to life, and it's not in its old glory, but at least it's getting a lot of life back into it, and it's going to be great. I was really kind of disappointed to see the landlord here coming and just, you know, trying to throw a dagger into this, and you know, this is in some ways it's not his business. It's if you were renting a property and you said, oh, I'm buying a new house, you say goodbye to that landlord, and if he's a lousy landlord, you say good riddance, and if he was a good landlord, you say thank you very much. So we're moving on, we're pressing on with this, and I think I'm going to support this 100%. Yes.
Any other comments? I, for one, want to thank the number of people who came out, because given the fact that this was an inordinately short time frame, unusually short for that number of people to come out, I commend you. Yes, it is premature. As Councilmember Casey said, we haven't even completed the public hearings, public meetings for the community, and yet here we are acting tonight. As the public raised so cogently, we have no figures, nothing to base this decision on. I love the car analogy that was used a number of times. You don't go into an auto dealership and just say, I want that car, and you don't ask how much it costs, or you don't ask about how much your interest rate's going to be on the loan, or, I mean, these are things that are simple answers that should have been provided not only to the council but to the public, and it was clear that the public wants those answers and deserves those answers. So it's unfortunate the way this has been rammed through. It's clear the mayor has a legacy, an agenda that she wants to accomplish while she still has her 4 votes. And so that's what is happening tonight. And I'm sorry for the residents of Troy. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No.
4 ayes, 3 noes, resolution 88 passes.
At this point of the evening, we have another public forum. This can be on any topic, not necessarily an agenda item. Does anyone wish to address the council?
Jonna Favreau. I live on Excelsior on the east side, District 5. And something that I've heard throughout this entire process is that this was a promise that was made by the mayor while she was running. And another promise that was made was that all lead pipes would be removed within the first 4 years. And we're 2 years in, and we're not even halfway done. And looking at the numbers for 2025, as of June, only 60 pipes have been removed from the ground. We still have $12.8 million that we received last year. And I know an RFP went out and just closed last month, but it was only for a third of that money. And it should be spent by the end of the year, and that's not going to happen. So I'm just up here again, another city council meeting, and I know it's not 50,000 people in here, but we want the lead out of the water. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Does anyone else wish to address the council?
We having fun tonight, huh? My name is still Gary Bradley. I'm gonna throw you a curveball. What is the council doing about absentee landlords? I've come down to City Hall on a regular basis filing complaints about absentee landlords. For a while, I was raising the devil with code enforcement, but after talking with them, I found out their hands are tied.